I don't need 2 minutes to talk about Clemson. I have 2 words for you. Honestly, it's one word with a hyphen in the middle. Super team. When I look at Clemson, I just see a super team between Cade Klubnik at quarterback. Listen, everybody they brought back. We know Clemson's not a transfer, portal heavy team. Think about everybody they brought back that could have gone pro, could have been a first round pick, right? Cade Klubnik at quarterback. They got Brian Wesco, who was a star freshman receiver last year. TJ Moore and Antonio Williams, elite wide receivers. Then you go to the defensive side of the ball. This defensive line is just as good as the one that we saw win the national championship in 2019 between Peter Woods, who's going to be a top 5 pick, TJ Parker, who's going to be a first round pick, Avion Terrell, the brother of AJ Terrell, who could be a first round pick. Ashton Hampton came on strong last year as a really strong corner as well. They've just got dudes, like NFL bodies at every single position on the field. And then they've got this star freshman from my home state of Virginia, Gideon Davidson from the Lynchburg area. He could really emerge as maybe the best back in the ACC in year one. The kid's got crazy talent. They did have Phil Maffa last year, but he was more of a bruiser. I think Davidson gives them more of an explosive element in the run game. And if you add that to this team that's already elite at everything else on both sides of the ball, you've got a recipe for a real national championship contender.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think Cade Klubnik, we saw him have huge growth last year. I think he takes it to another level. Serious Heisman Trophy contender. You hit the nail on the head with Gideon Davidson. I think you're looking at the next Travis Etienne type running back out of Clemson, CJ Spiller. Like, he fits that bill, right? And he's wearing number 9, which Travis Etienne also wore. So
I actually
something to be on the lookout for, I think they have an elite defense. We had this conversation kind of off the air. You felt like Ohio State or Texas had the best wide receiver room in the country. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I think Clemson is in that conversation when you look at Antonio Williams, Brian Wesco, TJ Moore. I think Ohio State has a better one in Jeremiah Smith. There's no better wide receiver in the country.
He's the one.
I think Texas, yes. I think Texas might have a better one. But I think as far as wide receiver depth goes, I like Clemson with anybody, particularly with their top 3. The front 7 on defense, absolutely loaded. Peter Woods, I think it's going to be huge the way he's going to slide back into the tackle spot. It's going to allow him to play so much more free, and the rhythm of that front 7 is just going to be on a different level. And then obviously TJ Parker, 11 sacks last year, almost had 20 tackles for loss. He's a dog. Here's a name to look out for. Alabama transfer Jeremiah Alexander at linebacker. He's going to be a stud in the middle of that defense. And then Tom Allen, the new defensive coordinator, who they poached from Penn State. So huge.
Right. Yeah, I think that honestly is such a big factor in this. Is like, yes, Clemson had the defensive talent last year, but they often had a lot of defensive shortcomings. Really, it was like timing that was such a problem with them. Obviously, Georgia waxed them, but they completely blew that game late against South Carolina, and they damn near blew it against SMU in the title game as well. Tom Allen is an absolute psychopath. He brings so much energy on the sideline. If you guys remember the season he had, like with Michael Penix at Indiana, which seems like a lifetime ago now,
it does.
He brings the type of energy that I think they lacked previously. They've been trying to find that true Brent Venables successor, and I think Tom Allen really gives them that shot. So, the talent they have on both sides of the ball, they don't have an excuse to lose a single game this year, which is saying something because the schedule certainly ain't easy.
No, schedule is not easy. Taking a peek at it right here. You open against LSU. This doesn't really matter. Like, they could lose this game and it's going to be okay.
That's
especially
true.
because it's not a conference game. I think, well, one, they'd love to win it. And it matters in this sense, Raza. It matters for the ACC. In fact, all of week 1 matters tremendously for the ACC. Syracuse is going to play Tennessee. Virginia Tech's going to play South Carolina. Clemson's going to play LSU. And you keep going down the list. There's a ton of week 1 ACC, SEC matchups that are going to take place in week 1. North Carolina, TCU as well, even though that's not a SEC matchup. There's so many opportunities. Florida State, Alabama. There's so many opportunities for the ACC to show like, hey, we're still here. And
exactly.
Can I give you a reason? If they don't.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Can I give you a reason why LSU Clemson matters?
Yeah. 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 Death Valley.
Winner gets Death Valley rights.
Yes.
Now, granted, the game is in Clemson, right? They run it back next year in
Right.
Baton Rouge. So, but like for the time being, maybe the series determines who gets Death Valley. But like I've always said, LSU's got the real Death Valley. LSU's got the real Tiger Rag. They've got the better stadium. All these other things.
I've
I
said that
would
about
love for
Clemson.
Clemson to prove it wrong. I'd love
Yeah.
for Clemson to prove me wrong. Like, and I think LSU's great, by the way. I'm sure we're going to talk about them at some point in the future. I think
Yeah.
LSU's a real contender for really, really big things this year. I'd like Clemson to win that opener. And
I
it's
do
more
too.
than just a Death Valley thing, right? Like they need that win to set the tone for their season and make up for what they did not do last year against Georgia. That they cannot afford to have that happen again.
You know when that game would have meant so much more is before the
Like
12-team playoff, like the
I was gonna
BCS,
say, like 2 years ago.
well, yeah, even the 4-team playoff, because there was so much less room for error. But now you
Mhm.
can go 9-3, particularly with a schedule like Clemson's. You can go 9-3 and still get into the playoff, and you're really not sweating on Selection Sunday. So that's the only reason I say it doesn't matter. Like it matters, but their season's not over if they lose week 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw that play out. I mean, you look at a team like Ohio State last year, they lost twice in the regular season. It didn't matter,
Yeah.
you know? And those are both conference games. This isn't even a conference game. So
Yeah.
in this day and age, there's so much more margin for error, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. But neither side will be super deterred by a loss on paper, but it's really in the finer print that it matters a lot more.